Hello, hello, and welcome to the 2025 Columbus Overpower Pro Tour Regional Event. $10,000 is on the line for a first prize, $20,000 in cash prizes for the top 8 spots. We have here a staggering number of people. We also have here Steve Costa, one of the designers for the new Skybound set. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing great, Joe. Glad to be here. Ready
Steve, do
to
you
get
know
right
how
into
many
the
players?
action?
Yeah, we're going to. Do you know how many players we have? Have you heard?
Last I heard it was 70 players.
70 players have come from all over the world for a shot at the second Overpower title, invites to the Nationals. This is going to be a great event. We've got some veterans over here. Phil the King Keffer, who has been back in the ring for about 3 years now and has been on a lot of streams. But we've got an old veteran here who's been out of the game for a few years, Garion. Steve, has Garion really ever been around in your time, or did you come on the scene kind of after him?
And the chat. They came on the scene after Gary, and I'm pretty sure I have only been to one tournament where he was there,
What'd you say? Yeah,
and
so
he was like
Garion
this
is
excellent player.
my bag. Yeah, Garion was definitely one of the top players that used to win a ton of events, and he's come back in hard. He is a 3-0 facing Bill the King Keffer. Obviously one of the best, if not the best, all-time overpower player. And I love that Garion is playing. He's got Leonidas in the deck, which we're seeing a lot of, but he's playing a split grid combat intellect energy thing that must be working, and he's playing it with Baker Street. So this is going to be. I'm super interested to see this deck. It looks like Keffer has kind of stayed into where the traditional meta was, which is in combat, which is Leonidas, Zorro, Robin Hood, Billy the Kid. Definitely one of the strongest decks in the meta. We're seeing this one be played a lot. Gary must have been late to report back from the lunch break because it looks like he's starting one mission down and Phil Keffer starting one mission up. So we are pretty strict about the time penalties now. So they're escalating for every 5 minutes you're late.
Let's actually tap squad. Right.
So having a little bit of a conversation here. I'm not sure who's going first or who's going second, but Phil drops a dupe 8.
No.
Garen's taking a look at his hand. He's definitely got the Gemini in his hand. Not always the best thing to get. Looks like he's got an ally. Got Merlin's 4. I saw some other cards with an intellect icon. He's got the 300 that he places. Phil Keffer right off the bat puts for Sparta, which is the 6. If it hits, the character can't play specials for the battle. If it's defended, it gets shuffled back in the deck. We haven't seen a lot of this today with the Leonidases that we've seen, but it's a really devastating card. You also have to be worried about that 7 with Zorro. If it hits, you can move any unventured mission to the completed pile.
The whole time where it's on autopilot.
Yeah, such a powerful card, that 7.
I said it should be like this where I'm on autopilot and I just have to listen for things.
What are your predictions here, based on the decks? That you're seeing? What do you think?
I know how strong the Zorro Leonidas deck can be, so I'm gonna have to give it to Phil here if we're making predictions.
Phil's definitely, I think he's always going to be a favorite coming into this round. You know, he certainly knows the meta. He's been playing a ton as soon as the set came out to get ready for these regionals. But I'm not going to count Garion out. Garion is very good at reading the meta. He's sort of, I think sometimes a Fresh Eyes might be a good set. He's definitely going to be trying to utilize that Baker Street for spying abilities. So it'll be interesting to see if that's going to be enough to overcome whatever Phil Keffer's doing.
Yep.
We'll see how Garion decides to use that Gemini in the first hand. He does have the Archimedes for Merlin, so he is going to be playing that pretty early to try to spy. Sometimes you see a card that you don't choose, but you want him. He may even decide to Gemini the spy just to get it out again.
Yeah, that's a very powerful mechanic, and I'm just waiting to see if that Carson and Venus can really shine with the telepathic training card. If we can see that in an early battle, possibly giving Garion a big advantage.
It's rare. Yeah, it's
For people who
interesting.
don't know,
Gary,
that's the spy where you get to discard a card, and then with the Baker Street, you get 2 cards out of it.
so they actually choose so you reveal 3 at random. They choose the first one, and then you choose one of the 2 remaining, which is interesting.
Yeah, I've only played against the Carson in reserve with just that card and the Mintep
Yep.
speed bump card.
Yeah.
So
I like
on the
seeing
front
him.
line here.
One thing that's great about him on the front line is that 7-5 is great. It's an offensive 7, which is huge. It's a defensive 5 that kills the turn. So, a lot of these combat decks are looking to get those big teamwork things in. Now, I don't know if Garion has a way to get the hits over there other than the legendary escape, but that's certainly a turn where he's going to be able to essentially disorient opponent and get that kind of an effect if he can defend with it.
Yeah, that would be a great play. Let's see, we got 1 teamwork and 1 ally over there for Phil, and then Garion has just the 1 ally. Okay, I'm starting it off.
That other Zeus card too. I need a little Colossus.
Now, Phil was only able to place 4 cards.
I wonder if babies is
Garion's managed to get 6 down.
He wants to stay to try to use those cards he kept in his hand if he can.
And to mitigate the placing advantage. It looks like, Phil's going first and had a dupe. So that's a straight dupe.
Good. Like these 4 cards are so huge.
Now, he's reading this. He's going to learn of the effect. He's going to decide if he wants to defend it or not. Now, he doesn't want to have to defend it because it's the same power type as the 3, but it's also pretty much going to ensure he doesn't win this hand.
Might play Shadow King.
But don't forget, he's got the 4. He's got T-Ray gun, so he can do 4 and then follow up with a 7 off Carson and Venus. And we don't know what's in his hand.
And then I cannon fodder from Zeus.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if he knows he has to shuffle that back in. But we're gonna see him fire back. I think Phil's a little bit on his heels here. Garion's gone too. He's gonna be able to pressure Robin Hood pretty bad if he's got 2 cards in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we might see a big string here.
Yep, and that's exactly what he does.
The gate.
Now, keep in mind too, he also could go with the Merlin string, the 4 half multi and the 6. He's got a lot of string. He also hasn't spied on his hand yet, and that card's going to run out of use if he doesn't play it soon.
Wait.
What's he going to call?
Still have cards in their hand. Oh, there it is.
I just don't like the split with him because he's intellect.
All right.
Versus the strength, or I could play babies and.
All right, he said specials. He reveals
Shadow King, but
an 8 for Leonidas, the 300, same one that
I think
Garion had. He's got a teammate avoided card with a combat icon and draw. So Garion essentially can discard the 8, and he can just ignore that card now because he's going to throw everything at Robin Hood. I think if you're Phil the King Keffer, you are running here because Robin Hood is dead on the next attack.
This is my strong.
Yeah, he can't survive the strings.
I could play.
Let's see what he decides.
He's representing 2 strings on the board. If he makes another, all he can do is do a teamwork and an 8. Hope that card in Garion's hand's not defensive. I don't see any version of this where Keffer doesn't have to run right here.
If they go up the middle, right?
That's over already. That's not it.
That could be a good.
And that's exactly what happens.
That could be a good.
There we go. Now, it's interesting these time. I think it's really great what we've put in place with some of these time penalties. It was really draconian in the old days. If you were late to your seat, you just lost the round, and that was it. Garion's got.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was really draconian back in the day. So it's, we've definitely made it a lot more reasonable. Like, this wasn't even that egregious of a time delay. And so only losing a mission, you can still, it's still definitely your game at this point.
Right. Not a huge penalty, but looks like Phil didn't shuffle his for Sparta back into his deck. I
Not
think it's there. We're there at the bottom of his stud pile,
like I
so that might hurt him
really
a little bit.
tactic. But that's what I was considering. What's his face?
See how the placing goes.
It is good. But
Yeah, and that one's a little rough. We'll definitely have the judge mention that to him between rounds, but that is not a may. He does have to shuffle that back in.
I could use 2 or 3.
And some people, that's why they don't like to play it, you know?
I didn't realize. Oh, let's see. Yeah, does not say may.
Yeah, you have to reshuffle it.
That's like all right.
Right, Zorro is fully stacked up. He's got his 3 placements on.
There you go.
It's he either lost really fast or he won really fast.
Garian's leaning into the Baker Street, which I love to see. Historically, Baker Street gets a bad rap. A lot of people think it's not one of the stronger bases. But as you're seeing, Keffer's not used to playing against it either, so he's having to read all these spying cards. Now, Watson's not the best detective, but he's not a bad detective. Keffer gets to choose the 2 cards that he reveals.
Wait a minute.
I think in retrospect, from a design perspective, I think if I was to fix a few things in this set, I would make that 2 at random instead of 2 of opponent's choice. I think that would really up. I think that's kind of the juice. Watson needs to be a little bit stronger, but at the same time, a lot of people would just wait till there's only a few cards left. And then once somebody says, "Oh, you know everything in my hand," they usually run. So
Yeah, you can math out the rest of the battles, figure out what you need to do.
Why is he giving you the?
Garian's playing the Cthulhu promo for the 5 multi. I love seeing that. That's from our very first release we ever did. We had an artist create 5 pieces of art, and we did 8 power cards in the 5 multi. Oh, and the Dracula hero. We kind of double dipped and used the art. I'm sure everybody noticed the art from the 8 intellect is the same art on the hero. Had you noticed that, Steve?
Yeah. I have a whole set of those sitting in my binder.
How do you get off?
All right, Garian's got 8 cards placed.
I just got he won.
7 are placed over on Keffer's side. So Garian has not forgot his roots. He's maintaining that card advantage. Keffer's keeping 4 cards in hand. And again, it is kind of that dilemma where, Keffer's going to want to use the cards in his hand to try to maintain the placing advantage. But if he plays a couple of cards from his hand, Garian's going to fire off that spy card. And you never know. He may choose to just do it right now just to get rid of a card in his hand.
Yeah, start off the battle with it. That's when it's the most powerful.
This one I think might be a little more powerful if you wait, just because the opponent chooses.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so when they have less options to choose.
Yeah.
And most people try to save a defensive card in their hand to be able to deal with stuff, but we'll see if these defensive cards can deal with the teamwork.
Wow.
Sneaky teamwork from the hand. He didn't want to place that one out.
And that's a good one because he plays that from Carson and Venus. He's got the 6 showing, and we don't know, he may have an 8 combat card in his hand. That's going to allow him to throw some really big hits Robin Hood's way. Robin Hood can defend the 4 with the 4 multi. Probably not exactly how Phil Keffer wants to have to use that 4.
I think I might.
Yeah, I'm sure he would like to save it to follow up his own teamworks if he can.
Back with Shadow Kings. I have. Do you have an IQ string?
See what he does.
Oh,
And it's a tough spot, if
Because I know.
it is his max 7 character. If he can throw that 8 as a follow-up.
Oof. I have the old one. I could even use the old one.
All right, so he blocks with the 4, and here comes the 6.
Keffer says the
that's
6
gonna hit.
hits. All right, he's going to try it. I
That's for the
believe
multi.
that's +1. That's another hit or another 6. He has the 6 power card. All right. But that tells you a lot that he let the first one hit. He's got Garion's really representing these big chains. He's played another one from hand. So now the spy card's very good. There's only one card he can continue to hide.
It's not good. Batman. Wow. Yes.
Now Phil's turn to strike back. Let's see what he goes with. An ally.
Well, here's the man. See. There's it.
Garion says, this little
Nice.
poke hits. Oh, he's got his own big chain. Robin
There
Hood
it is.
sharpens up his arrows and fires it off at Leonidas. What does Garion have to defend against this? This 3 multi allows him to make multiple attacks after. This is one of the reasons people like Robin Hood so much. It's such a strong hit. Now, if he could shift this
I don't want to play it for
to Carson,
Yeah.
oh, he's got the negate in
Merlin
hand. Don't
negate.
forget, he is playing Merlin. He's got
Yep.
those negates.
Those defensive negates are still so powerful.
I'm good.
Stop a string right in his tracks, and now he gets to come back with another string of his own. Let's see, is it something from his hand again?
No, it's it. Yeah.
Oh, that one's sticky.
Garion's got to do some more stringing. I mean, but with what he's got played,
Oh.
really, I am shocked at this.
I
I'm
am
shocked at
surprised
this.
by that too. I feel like he had the pressure on Robin Hood.
He had a
He has
4
three.
energy, make an additional attack in his hand. He's got a disorient opponent if the teamwork's thrown, which almost certainly was. The only thing he can't defend is the A. I think if he fires off that energy card, and then I think he could have taken Robin Hood out. He must just be a little over worried that he's going to lose his 8. But I'm very
Yeah, he didn't
surprised.
want to lose Leonidas there. That was very surprising myself. I don't know.
I feel like I would have started with the 8 any character from Carson and just gone 4-7 on the next guy if it hits and just really pressure him. He might have been able to put Phil at a situation right there. I mean, Robin Hood, he would have had a dead Robin Hood card. He would have had 1 card in his hand that could have defended Leonidas. I don't know about that, man. I really think you got to pressure.
Yeah, it's a tough call.
So this event that Garion played is each player chooses 1 frontline character. All attacks made against the chosen character may be shifted to any frontline teammate for a remainder of battle. Now,
Yep,
both
and
of them,
both can use their hurt guys. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
looks like Garion's got a dupe negate. It looks like, is that another 8 that he duped on? They both got a duplicate. Now, Garion's got a really good thing going with this deck. Like, he's got the avoid he's playing for Carson, which he had last hand. Unless Keffer is smart and sends his strings at Merlin, Carson of Venus is going to be able to shut him down with Piracy as the best option. He'll be able to defend with that
Yep.
5, stop a teamwork string.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, even what's funny is if he was to attack with the 6 any power teamwork and the second attack was below a 5, that would still end the turn. Because all it says is when it's defended with that card, the turn immediately ends. So you could actually see strings ending in the middle too.
When they played each other.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. That's a unique card there.
At it though, right? You can't just look at it on the fly. What?
Yeah, I had to actually email them to send that info. It won't
I love seeing Carson on the front line. He wasn't used at all last tournament.
And counter real.
Yeah, he's a pretty powerful character.
Well, that,
Forming
So that,
conditional 7s. Pretty strong.
Yeah. That's the Band of Merry Men that just got placed on Robin Hood. That's a 5 power card that actually can follow up the teamworks. It can attack or defend. Freya is placed on. Phil Keffer is using the round table, which is historically was called Team Overpower, one of the most used home bases. Not nearly as popular in the new set with the other options, with the home bases the way they've expanded. But Phil is one of those people, he's going to always consider the options. And that is a very powerful, that's a very powerful home base effect. And he hasn't forgotten it, even with all the other bells and whistles that are out there.
Yep. Any characters are very powerful cards, and to be able to hold them and possibly keep one for the next couple of battles, very strong.
Very, very strong. All right, so
It is
Garion, I
still
think, is
my
just.
favorite home base.
Oh, you still like the round table the best?
Yeah, yeah. I always want to use like the training ground. Like I always want to save my guardian angels.
Yeah, I feel like I played against it so long. I'm kind of biased. I'm always like, no, I'm doing something different.
Well, I got the hand.
They each bet one, and I think Keffer just ran. Oh, Garion loses his negate. He loses a min tap. He loses an any character. That's he's
That's a little
catching
rough
up
for
on
him.
missions, which is nice, but definitely lost some of his heat. Keffer has placed out pretty well. Let's see. He's got why is Robin Hood? Oh, they were insinuating though, indicating those are the two characters they chose. That's why they're turned to the side.
Yeah, they're gonna have to flip those back.
Ooh,
Oh wow,
man.
3
Phil
dupes.
Keffer, he got all three of his sevens in one hand. He drew a duplicate Band of Merry Men. Now, I do know that was a big part of Keffer's strategy early in the modern seasons. Lean on those as his teamwork follow-up so he could save his power cards as defenses.
Yeah, it's a great strategy, and it's definitely works well with Robin Hood.
Yeah. Did you have all 7?
But Robin Hood is pretty hurt now, so he's probably gonna want to save that 5 for
There's one still in
defense
here.
instead of following up a teamwork
Okay.
currently.
I mean, he's clearly looking to
That's what I'm saying.
try to build up a card advantage. It's just a question of how much is Garion going to have to lean on his, how
I don't know how that.
Garion's going to have to decide when he wants to sacrifice Leonidas. That's going to be a big blow to him,
We definitely
but he's
had
also really building out
So might have just had a 1-off.
he's catching up on card advantage. He's really building out his lead on the missions. So it'll be interesting when he decides to pull that trigger. Now it looks like Garion's got his negate in his hand and does not have a slot for it, but that will certainly come into play this battle. That's one of his big any hero defenses. So I think you'll see Garion go at least 2 this battle and try to get some fighting going on.
Yeah, he's showing 2 teamworks as well, so he definitely has a lot of pressure.
Yep. Phil Keffer has 10 place cards to Garion 9. Garion's got at least 5 cards in hand, it looks like. I don't know. I do have to say, Keffer, you can never count Keffer out, but Garion is not showing any signs of having lost a step here. He's betting aggressively. He's keeping pace placing. He's creating the KO pressure in the right area.
Hey, Bill.
Yep, and let's see, Merlin is all placed out now. And so is Carson. You've got 1 slot left for a universe on Leonidas. So he's looking pretty good.
And both of the cards on Leonidas can defend at an 8 level, which is with Phil's characters, he's not really throwing any big attacks above an 8. So unless
Yeah,
he's
so
main
Leonidas is
decking,
looking pretty good.
unless he's main decking like a basic a basic universe, he doesn't really have a way to get above an 8 anyway. Garion goes
Yep, and we
2.
still haven't seen the give them nothing special from either of these Leonidases, which is just a hero void for the whole team.
I'll just destroy it.
Certainly true.
I can't really see his hand, but he could have that in there.
He continue. I forget the last I see, but he's still like prayer.
And he also has the negate in his hand as well. So Garion is sitting pretty.
Yeah, I think Keffer's a savvy player. I think Keffer's going to force him to use those 8s to block suboptimally, to block lower stuff, or to exhaust his hand, and that's fine. I think I think Gary just has to accept that those 2 8s are defensive cards and just has to pepper him back with teamworks and spying effects to make what's in his hand suboptimal.
What do we got, gentlemen?
Oh, looks like Phil wants to fight it out this round. He's going 2. Yeah, looks like both players ventured 2. We got to fight.
Great. Respond, I have 2.
All right, Garion controls the action. He's asking how many cards in Phil's hand. Phil, I think, is saying 3.
Primitive. Look, I do that. So you need to be at
If he starts with a spy,
the outlaw baby.
If it's, I couldn't see if it was 3 or 4. I think that's my cutoff. I love that card with 3. I don't love it so much with 4. I like the idea that, like, all right, you're going to get one thing I haven't seen, but I know at that point, if I can throw 2 to 3 attacks, it's not going to, like, I'll be able to do a lot more math. It's not surprising he's opening with the teamwork here. Garion's deck definitely seems to want to chain, and he's presenting the threat against Robin Hood that there's going to be another chain. I do also like tempting them always to use cards that can be used with teamworks, because a lot of people will just be like, okay, I'll defend. And if you can strand those teamworks because they have to sacrifice the follow-ups for defense, those are just, it's just like you're getting a 2-for-1 at that point.
yeah, you're turning it into a dead card.
That's what I want. Then again,
Let's see what the follow-ups are. I'm wondering if he's thinking about throwing that Leonidas to KO the Robin Hood, the combat.
Probably not at this point, only because he's got the Freya placed. He's probably going to try to make him have to use the Freya for a lower tier card. But I also don't hate this. You can't pressure the other characters as much because Robin Hood has the teammate avoid draw. So that's the fear here is, most people are going to gun for Robin Hood first, especially if you're playing a combat icon deck. You just can't deal. You can't be throwing 7s and 8s, lose it, and they draw a card. So
Yeah,
I don't mind getting the other colors on there, but Kefir can sort of let that hit, and he knows
you can't defend with.
he doesn't really have to worry about the KO.
So that's the thing about Legacy is I could throw those on the battle site. It doesn't trigger that, and this doesn't trigger against the site. And
Okay, so I guess he let that hit, and there was no follow-up.
Shift cards aren't a defense.
Yep, he let the 4 hit.
Character.
He's playing the Gemini. He's got the promo version of the Gemini. So he wants to go through his discard pile. Now, he hasn't gotten a lot of good cards that I think I would bother to negate that with. His best defensive card is going to be that teammate avoid, and you're going to play around that anyway.
well,
Even if he's got the
Right.
shift,
What is he going for?
I think he's, you just play it to play it. I think I would let him do it. I think Garion's making the right call here.
Well, what's cool about this too is I can play that.
Yeah, he wants to save those
and then
his negate
avoid
for
draws any hero.
something that could possibly KO Leonidas.
If I
Well,
play
and
this
at this point too,
his avoid draws any hero.
he can just spy on his hand.
I still don't know if I should use X babies instead of the mummy.
That's true.
I think, did Kefir play a card from his hand? Is he down to just 2?
yeah.
I don't know how many of those Garion's playing, but I think if I'm
Yeah, the Gemini definitely came from his hand, so
Yeah. That's the thing.
but it did replace itself. So he has 2 or 3.
This is what
I don't think he's attacked with anything else from his hand, so
sounds fun.
I think that's just make him deal with it. Look, he's going to show you 2 of his cards in his hand. You're going to discard 1. You're going to know half of what's in his hand, and you have multiple 3 attack chains on the board.
Monster card, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got to mix up that deck though because you got to. There's a lot of broken shit like that people are
Easy going for the 4 to make additional. That would be a KO pressure on Robin Hood because of the combat.
He's got to remember too. I also would have thrown this. This is one thing I'll say that I think Garion throwing the 4 against Zorro is great. It does get the color on there.
I mean, this is the other guy.
But I do think some of the older players are not realizing how often you have to cumulative. Putting the 4 on Robin Hood and taking him up to 13 points, so a 7 is for the kill. I think that's like a valid strategy here as well.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
Stats don't fit as well.
But look, he's
Zora.
he's getting both of them to where his main color in combat is a kill shot. So you also can't fault him for that.
I don't know.
Yeah, now he's got 2 of them set up. You still kind of have to take out the Robin Hood first just because of the combat avoid.
Now, have you noticed? I'm curious. Have we noticed if Garen's remembering to use the Merlin Inherent and looking at his top card every time?
I have not seen him do it.
That's a big one. I mean, I know when I used to train for the Pro Tour in Magic, a common thing people would say is the difference between a Pro Tour winner and a good player is someone that never misses a trigger. That's usually the nomenclature for like what makes an elite player is they have that mental ability to track every trigger and not miss the timing. And I think that's a little something that Overpower in its structure didn't have as much of. It's certainly a different skill set. And I think where Merlin's really going to start to shine for everyone is when you get a player that every single battle looks at that top card, knows it's going to be a dupe or not if they have a draw effect, puts it on the bottom of the deck if it's something they don't want to see till later. That Inherent is part of the reason he's 21. And a lot of people either brush it off or I struggle remembering to use it all the time.
I definitely do too. It's like you were saying, it's not a normal thing in Overpower really to be looking at the top card of your library ever.
I know.
Of your deck. So it is one that you just really have to be thinking about. And I know they've been playing all day, and Overpower does kind of
you've had a tough draw.
Wear you down after playing so much.
Absolutely.
It's stay focused.
You had to play Sean in the first
Remember,
Phil Keffer,
player. You could have played anybody.
Exactly. Keffer wrote a really great article about a year ago that I love that we should put back out again, where he talked about how he preps for the day. And I think it was funny. I think people were really expecting to get an article talking about like, what do I play? How do I track my cards? And 90% of the article was about things he does, like making sure he won't play in the Friday night events. He goes home and gets a good night's sleep. You know, it's all these quality of life things. And look, it shows. All right, we got to go back to this action here, though. Keffer just played in any character teamwork, a 6 and an 8. And there's the card you were talking about. Give them nothing. And he did it. Yes. He blocks the 8 coming across, I believe still is an 8, but saves Carson of Venus.
Yeah, because like you were talking, that one string right there, 20 cumulative KO.
Yep. It's so much more in this format. Getting a cumulative KO is so much more important. Now I don't know what Garion has. I don't know what he's worried about. But remember, Leonidas is like a threat on both sides. He's got the 8 and the 7 placed on him. And he can do a 4 and make an additional attack, which means he can offer a KO shot on Leonidas. Then he can throw his Leonidas at Garion's Carson of Venus. So Keffer has just changed the tempo a little bit and is very much controlling this. And there you go. That's going to take him to where a 7's for the kill.
See if Phil has any tricks up his sleeve still.
Well, that's not for the kill here. That would just put him up there. I think Keffer's going to let it hit, and then he's going to have to use the Freya on the 8.
Yeah.
But good. That's what he's trying to do. Keffer's also, the one thing I know about him is he is trying to wait for the exact right moment to slip that Riches of Don de la Vega through. And, the 7 any power is also for the kill. I don't know about this play. I think this is a mistake. What do you think?
Playing the 7 any?
I think removing the 7 from his hand when he could have thrown a placed 8 and like kept the 7 for defense on Carson of Venus. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's a tough call to use a card in your hand versus a place card.
But the other problem you got to remember is exactly what just happened. If he defends the 8, fine. But now he's defended the 7. And if he's got the teammate avoid a combat icon and draw, Garion really can't afford to throw one of those combat icons now.
Keep a dupe with it.
That's true. Yeah, he should have kept it. Could have thrown it as a energy from Merlin.
Yep. And now Garion
for defense.
Garion can spy to see what the 2 cards in his hand are, but at the same time, that slows the tempo down so much. Like, is he going to be able to spy, survive the 7 or the 8 on Carson, and then still go? I mean, I don't know what's in his hand, but he just used his big avoid on the 8. He just gave away the 7.
Discard.
He does have the Carson 7 to throw at Zoro, though.
Yeah, I'd play one. And he's got a cannon fire.
Yeah, it's not for the kill, but
essentially, and not OPD.
It would get him up to 13. I think Garion's got to let this one go. I think Gary needs to run right here. I think he had some paths. Keffer played this one really optimally. Garion's got an advantage placing. And I think this is that time when your ego gets the better of you and you're saying, no, his guys are so beat up, I'm going to punch through. And I think what you have to say is, okay, cool. You used your cataclysm. I'm out. You're not going to have that next time.
Fairy protection definitely saved Phil this battle. It was just not being able to attack the Robin Hood with all those combat cards.
Well, and remember, so Garion stays in. What did Garion do?
I'm not sure.
Did he pass?
I think he must have passed, which is strange because he's got the spy and the 4 make additional back there.
And he's losing on venture, so he couldn't have just passed.
I mean, I missed what he did.
So he's got the negate.
There's a negate. Okay.
Oh, maybe he was trying to decide if he was going to make a 3rd attack.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
I think that's what it was, and he chose not to. I think they're joking about that now. Because remember, Phil played the Gemini early, and of course, if he's got the fairy protection, he got the teammate avoid and draw.
Right, yeah.
And I think they're kind of, if I can guess just based on the body language, they're gamesmen talking to each other that they both know exactly what happened. Garion, if you're going to stay in, you got to play the spy. All right, he's going to do it. What are those 2 cards?
2 cards.
Keffer's going to hate this. Keffer is so strategic. He just does not want his opponent to have perfect information.
Because I could put Morgan Le Fay in reserves.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
Not a bad detective. Draws the full Merlin negate. That is a lot.
Wow,
he must have something.
All the any heroes.
What's that?
All the any
Garion, yeah, he must have his Freya in hand or something because he's just attacking and staying in there with abandon. Not a bad detective if he sucks out a Merlin negate with it for sure.
Yeah, great play.
I think are worth exploring a bit too. The home bases.
They're probably worth.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes the Zoro.
That's exciting. We better live on Lucy Martin.
All right, so Garion's reading this one, and this is saying not only is it, it's not for the kill, so that's nice, but it hits, and that allows Keffer. Yep, he got to move 1 from the defeated all the way up.
Well, any one non-ventured mission. So, of course, you choose a defeated one. You get to put it all the way up.
It's like winning a... Yeah, it's like winning a battle where you bet 2 just from 1 card. And remember, too, if that Billy the Kid, I'll Make You Famous, hits late in the battle and kills Leonidas, he's going to be able to do it with another one as well. This could turn into a 4-venture swing for Phil Keffer if Garion doesn't play it correctly.
And I go.
Yep, so Billy also moves unventured, so he would have to pull it from the reserve pile, but still great.
They're going to get better than the gold three. But no way. I'm average silly.
Yeah, again, I think Garion just has to get out of this battle.
What does he have in his hand that's making him want to stay? I thought it was the full avoid, but he would have definitely used that on the 7.
I mean, at this point, they're both.
That's good.
At this point, they're both at a relative. They're the same number of place cards. They're both going to go into the next battle with 4 cards.
So you
Garions are arguably a little better. I mean, they're niche, but
has to come from.
I think you just got to cut your losses here. I mean, the last thing you want to do is give him another mission if that Billy card scores a kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Bill also has that fortification back there, so he can start with that and then throw the Billy card.
Start off fighting.
There we go. All right.
That's how I play for him.
It was a +5 to venture. That seems like a lot of considering to run with a +5 to venture in your hand. I'm actually surprised. I don't know. I know a lot of people. I talked to Dave about this a lot, David McMillan. I don't like to play that card unless I have a specific reason. Other people put it in quite a bit. And I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Steve?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it can be a really powerful card, but you got to kind of put it in the right deck. And then even still, I think during a battle, you got to get it at the right time. Or
It's the
it's
switch card that matters. But if the thing affects the activator,
not too great. There's some any characters that go in every single one of my decks, and that's not one of them.
Yeah, I
Still a
completely
very powerful
agree.
card, though.
Yeah.
Like if you have that,
Yeah.
let's fight.
Yeah.
Well, people are doing some counting, so they're probably
But I mean, that's what I like about this.
this could possibly be close to the last hand. We did not have get our timer on this. So Garen's going 3.
And I got a negate still. And I had that new card
4.
that he has, right? So he's another consider. It's just the grid is really bad with him.
We're going up those cards to look at.
This must be last hand. Garion looks like he's calculating what he has to go in order to beat what Kefir has if Kefir were to just go 1 and run.
That 2 turn.
So Kefir's got 4 in the top. So he just needs to be
So
3 in the top. He's going to have 1 in the bottom. So yeah, he needs to bet 3 from the middle. And then if Kefir goes 1, he would win. He would tie him, actually.
because it's the old guy, and a lot of people are playing sites that are the old ones.
Yep. And what are the rules for the tie again? After they tie missions and time runs out?
Then its number of active characters is the first tiebreaker. Then it's total number of hits, not value of hits.
No, that's huge. Then it's likely to get through.
So that would mean that actually
back with Zarsen.
Phil is, if they tie, Phil would be,
I don't like that stupid.
he's got 5 and
especially coming from the site because
He
Five.
has 5 hits?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
We probably
Okay, not sure what's going on here.
Who'd you play?
Little lull in the action.
Sky? Williams?
Phil must be trying to, wait,
What?
what happened to Garion's?
Yeah,
Venture
he said he
missions?
helped them develop that, so he said he's playing it in honor.
He put him back for a second, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
Really?
the fan. Knowing I get it.
So Garion's
so
sticking with the same plan. He's going 3 from the reserve, 1 from completed.
Yep.
And it looks like Phil is just doing 1 from reserve.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's like that. I know. Like, every time I look back,
Gotta go 3-1 now.
how do you do there? You know what?
And I didn't see, did Phil have to discard any duplicates?
I don't know. Maybe the 5 multi. I didn't see what he discarded at the end of the last hand. He definitely had that teammate avoid draw, though. That is most likely what he got out.
Well,
All right, he's starting off throwing the ally card for the kill. So like we talked about before, he's going to want to try to throw these little hits at Leonidas, force him to use the 8s defensively, and generate that extra venture. I don't think with a handful of cards it's going to get through. He does have to play a 6, so he does have to up block by 3.
you have to go route.
What is the special that Phil is going to try to get out?
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Garion
Take
still
the
should
adversity
have
in.
1 more Merlin negate in his deck. Did he draw it this hand? Guess we'll see.
So what I'm playing tomorrow,
Oh, when the
Ooh.
Grim Reaper comes out,
this guy instead of being
that's a tough one. See,
Use this guy.
sounds like he's
And I
choosing
cannon card
combat.
This guy.
It's a very bad time for that for Garion. And Garion has not been able to make Kefir use that Freya. And Kefir's probably just sitting on it for the same thing. Garion has his Freya in hand, and this is still a game.
Nines, right?
This is still a winnable game for
Just
Garion.
guarantees one goes through, right?
I think if I'm Garion, I'm launching those 8s at Robin Hood. Just like make him use his Freya, make him feel the pressure.
Determine it's going to be a one battle.
He's gonna make you. He's gonna make you block low.
Set up an advantage.
He may do it here, so that's an ally for the kill.
But I think it's. I mean, no, I don't hate winning, but not that badly. But it does like.
See if Phil has a
It's
power
very
card
against
or
my
some other
ethics.
defense to block that.
But that's all right.
Well, I got it all.
Or if he's deciding to just let Robin Hood die there. Nope, he's going to block.
Now this may be.
You all break it down.
What is that coming out of his hand?
Is
Oh,
that the,
that's the
is that
reveal
the
3.
telepathic?
No, thanks. I'm good.
Kefir's got to reveal 3 at random. Then Kefir picks one to discard. Then Garion picks one to discard.
Ooh, that's going to do
He's
it.
good, but
That's a tough thing to recover from here in this last battle.
yeah, I just don't really need that much defense in here.
Man, he has so many
What's
cards
good
now.
about his defense is they both defend Zeus. That's the thing that's good about
Yep, so Darian gets to see half of his hand there, and
But
they each get to pick one to discard.
she read it.
Those are pretty good ones. It looks like Wrath of Ra, the 7 energy, any character. Select the Slain, and then it looks like the Full of Void for Leonidas.
Oh.
Well,
Oh.
I think if you're Kefir, you're picking the 7. If you're Garion, you're picking the Full of Void. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I might
They're probably trying to ask about timing, like who
I had
does
that
what
too.
first.
But I have
Ooh, Kefir gets rid of select the Slain.
draws and a sleepy on. So when I have the don't
No,
discard,
don't get rid of the 7. It's the Avoid. There's no question.
But no, the one is the reserve.
It's a second Guardian Angel.
So I have Strange in the back.
Yep, and that is what he chooses. I think that's the right move there. And what a great time to play that telepathic training.
Absolutely.
Which, yeah, it can be. But
Now,
my
back in the
thing
day,
is
you
I
could
have
have done the
opposite
4,
too.
and those kind of opponent effects were also considered attacks, but you can't anymore. So, he had to choose to play it right after the ally. But I agree. I think that's going to set Kefir for a loop. Zorro, the Master Swordsman, is going to do a 7 combat card. Oh, wow. That's brutal. That might be the game. Garion could not defend the 7. That took out a 7 that he had placed for the entire game and the 4. And I think that just goes to show you, man, you gotta you can't just sit on your cards forever. You gotta use them. There were multiple times where that 1-2 string could have gotten a character to the KO threshold or one venture.
Yeah, 4-0.
And that is a lot of pressure. Well, I think
Yeah.
getting the telepathic training out first was probably the better move, but yeah, he had a couple of battles where he, like we were saying, I think it was the second battle, where we were surprised he ran when he had that string already set up there.
That one battle, I was really surprised he didn't continue on the offensive there.
Yeah, because they can run that too, right?
Still putting the pressure on Robin Hood.
Let's read John Quarters.
So the ISIS is defended. What is the follow-up going to be?
Hey,
What's that?
Thinking, do I want to change my targets? Maybe get the
Yeah,
Zorro?
that's true.
read it.
Nope, sticking with Robin Hood.
I don't know what I do. I can wait.
And Phil decides
one
to save
energy.
his Guardian Angel and not and let that one hit.
I think that makes sense. If this is last hand, he just needs to defend one of the 8s with it.
The teamwork
Yeah.
hits on Merlin. The follow up.
Just a little too late. Kefir has just got so much venture. He's got the Guardian Angel for the 8. Even with the 2 venture off Watson, I just don't think Garion's going to be able to pull this off. Having to go, he was in the position where he had to go 4. Giving Kefir those extra 2 cards was just, I think, too much to overcome at the end here.
Yep.
And there's the handshake. Hey, it's a great game. That was a really great game. Garian's playing an awesome deck. I think like he's just, he came up against the king, and the king didn't really make any mistakes.
Yeah, it goes to show that the Zoro Leonidas combo is very strong.
It's definitely a very strong deck in the meta. I don't think it was a gimme, though. I think Garian was in that game the entire time.
For sure. Phil really, that one hand that he had all the any characters, and he got to play the fairy protection to keep Robin Hood alive and activate his avoid and draw. That was the turning point, I think.
I agree. Yeah, I really think that just goes to show you. I think Garian's the one place I would have played different is I think Garian should have just fought that one battle he ran, and even if he ended up trading, he should have tried to disrupt Kefir's team at that point.
Yeah, try to pull that Freya off the board early if you can. He actually had it placed all the way to the end of the game, so didn't even have to use it.
Well, guys, that was round 4. Halfway through the Swiss rounds, we got a big day for you. We've got 4 more rounds of Swiss.